Hey guys, Stephanie Mitchell here. I'm an online marketing coach for beauty business owners, and I have something special for you today. With businesses opening back up all around the world, that means that we are getting back to our social lives and social events. And today, my friend Adam Chatterley from Beauty Business Secrets is going to be sharing his tips and strategies to create a profitable, sold out, in-person event in your salon, no matter what kind of business you have. Hosting an event is such a great way to sell more products, introduce a new service, connect with more people in your community, and really get to know your overall area. Whether you want to do it as like your grand opening because you're just starting a new business, exciting, or you want to do it as a VIP event to really reward and make your clients feel special, or you want to do it as an event where you're partnering with another local business or a supplier. There are so many good reasons to host an event, but it does take a little bit of time and planning. So fortunately, we have Adam. He's going to take us through everything you need to do step by step leading up to your event. So from deciding what the schedule is going to be, to selling tickets, to what you're actually going to do during your event, to tips to making it more profitable for you. So without further ado, I'll let Adam take it away.
Hi everyone, really great to be here. Thanks very much. And obviously we're talking about events. I'm hoping at this point you can see my screen and it should say events across the middle of it, and you should be able to see me down in the corner of the screen, so you know that I'm here all the time as well. So let's I'm very respectful of your time, so I'm going to get straight into this. I've turned off all my communications, distractions, things that are coming in, all that kind of thing, and I advise you to do the same thing. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly but as thoroughly as I can, so the fewer distractions you have, the better. So very quickly then, what are we going to cover? I'm going to talk to you about the big problem with social media and how events can actually help that. Okay, now that sounds like a very bold statement. I'm going to explain what I'm talking about in a minute. I'm going to talk about what is an event, just to really clarify that, just to really clear that sort of thing up for you. I'm going to then talk about why events and why events actually work. You know, this is all kind of based off the fact that I did an episode of the podcast, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, and it was just on events, and so much feedback came from that. Loads of people have started asking questions about it, and again, it was one of these things that, you know, events are quite a staple of the industry. But what I hadn't realised is they've kind of fallen out of fashion, and they are great, absolutely great for so many things, especially when you team it up with social media. I'll explain more about that in a second. I'm going to then talk about how to hold an effective event, because if you've never done one before, they can be overwhelming, and what you don't want to find is that you're in the middle of an event and you haven't done some of the things that you should have done, because there's nothing worse than putting loads of effort into putting on an event and promoting an event and all those kind of things, and then to find yourself in the middle of it, stressed out, not enjoying it, wishing you'd done things differently, and feeling like, you know, you've put this event on and you've missed the boat and you've squandered the chance and all these kind of things. So we're going to help you out with that as well. And then I'm also going to talk to you about some of the side benefits of holding an event as well. So that's what we're going to get through. So hopefully that's why you're here, and you're going to enjoy this. Now, I've also got a free gift for you. I'm going to cover kind of the key points of holding an event, and all the things that you need to think about before putting it on and whilst you're putting it on, and also afterwards as well. That's one of the key things that people forget, is the stuff that you should do after an event to really make the most of it. So what I've done is I've created you a checklist that I'm calling the How to Hold an Effective Event and Not Lose Your Mind checklist, and that's yours for free, and I'll give you the link to download that at the end of this presentation, and I'm sure Stephanie will give you some links and hook you up with that as well. So first of all then, let's talk about the problem with social media. You know, small businesses these days, you know, you're fed a constant diet by the media, coaches and so-called gurus, that, you know, social media is the answer to just all of your marketing needs. As long as you post, you know, 15 times a day, and you go live on Facebook, and you add to your Insta stories constantly, and you set up a YouTube channel and an IGTV channel, you know, that's all you need to do these days to market your business. And unfortunately, it's just not true. There's two problems with this. You know, social media channels are great for, you know, keeping your community informed, for sharing your knowledge in little bite-sized chunks, and yeah, it's great for ad hoc and ongoing promotions. But because everybody's doing social media these days, and remember, people don't go on social media to buy things. They go on social media to be entertained. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean watching, cat videos and people falling off roofs, but you've got to entertain people. It's got to be something that captures their imagination, even if it's for the few seconds that they're reading your post. So people don't really get excited about social media posts. And there are so many of them, like I say, flinging their way into our news feeds, that you really need to do something different to stand out. Now, the second problem is that everyone's trying to do the same thing. Like I said, following the same advice so that nothing is really making you stand out. And that's where the old school power of an event comes in. Hope this is starting to make some sort of sense to you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to just ignore all this advice and give up on social media. It's really, really important in today's marketplace, but that's where the exclusivity, the scarcity, and the positive hype that you can create around an event actually steps in to help. So let's quickly clarify then. When we say event, what do we actually mean? Now, if you've got no idea what I'm talking about here, then let's just dive into this. When I'm talking about event, in this particular context, in the beauty business world, in the salon world, in the spa world, all those kind of things, I'm talking about an in-person gathering with some sort of focus on it, some sort of theme, some sort of reason for it happening, some particular reason that you're holding that gathering that you can use as a one-off event to get people excited. Now, this could be something as simple as, a special talk on skincare or free skincare consultations that takes place just in an evening at your salon. Maybe it could be, you could judge it up a bit and have some nibbles involved, or it could even be something as big as a full-on large, black tie ball in association with a charity and some other local businesses to really, raise awareness of something, raise money and all that kind of stuff. Or it could be anything in between these two things, two different ends of the spectrum. Either way, it's something that you organise or you're involved in organising, something that you can tell people about, something you can then get people talking about, all the while spreading the word and involving you and your business. Okay? So, why events? Why am I talking about events? Well, I'm a huge fan. People know me. I'm a huge fan of using the latest technology, the latest tools and all that to help promote your business. But there's no denying that some of the old school ways of promoting still work really, really well, especially because most salons and most spas are not using them. So for me, events is a great way to market your business, whether you're just starting out and you're launching your business, or for a whole bunch of reasons that I'm going to go into in a moment. But it's not only about marketing. You can use events to raise money for charity, to build customer loyalty, to reward clients, to reward your therapists, all of which does have a marketing element, but all of which offers so many other wider possibilities. Now, there's one area that I think events beat anything else, hands down, and that's where you've had some sort of shift within your business. I'll talk more about it in a moment when I get into this, but let's quickly explain why events work so well, and then the ideas and some of the ways that I've seen major success with them before. Now, like I've already mentioned, people almost need something to get excited about if you want them to pay attention. We've all got busy lives, we've all got things going on. We can find out so much on our phone. If we've got a bit of time in our schedule, if we've got a day off, if we've got an afternoon, if we want to go out, there's so many ways on our phones that we can find out, what's happening in our area, all these different things, everything from a restaurant to go to or an event that's happening in your local community. So it's really easy for us to find out what's going on. And we want it on our terms. So that's why it's kind of difficult with social media, promoting your treatments, promoting your salon, because people kind of know that it's always going to be there. So there's nothing for them to there's no urgency for them in some ways, unless they really, really want the treatment that you provide. There's no urgency for them to kind of get up and do something about it now. And that's where an event can really help. So it's the reason that we're needing to put out offers. So if you put out offers, time limited offers, that obviously has that capability. But again, that's what a lot of people are doing. People aren't necessarily going to go and get excited about the fact that you just offer a manicure or a facial or a particular massage, even if you're the best at it, in your area. But if you put on a special offer or some sort of event or something that happens just once, then that's going to get their attention. So it's the same idea with an event. It's a one-off. It's something that they can't just have whenever they want. It has to be scarce. That's a big, important part of it. Get it before it's gone. Limited availability. Once it's gone, it's gone. While stocks last. All of these marketing catchphrases that we all kind of know, and we know that they don't necessarily mean what they say, but it speaks to our subconscious mind so powerfully that even though we know it is a marketing ploy, we all know that, closing down stores, end of season sale, all these different things, we know that it doesn't mean quite what they're saying, but it still speaks to us on that subconscious level, and it still works really, really well. So what are events actually good for? We've now talked about why they're important. We've sort of talked about why they work, and we've kind of defined very roughly what an event is. So what are they actually good for? Well, depending on the event that you hold and who you hold it for, you can use an event for a number of different reasons, like I've said. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list. There's loads of other options, but just as an example, here are some things that you could use an event for. So first of all, you could use an event simply to get to know your clients better, to deepen the relationship, to get to know them on a personal level, to build trust, give something back to them. I've talked about client loyalty being the key to giving the maximum value to your client, and in return, getting the maximum revenue for you from your clients. It's one of the founding principles of really everything I teach, my approach to getting new clients and keeping them. And it's a huge part of my main coaching program, the Beauty Client Accumulator. So if you can create a loyal client base, you'll not only lose fewer clients, but you will need to have fewer clients because they'll come back more often. You'll make more money from the clients you've got. So if that sounds good, well, that's just one reason to hold an event. You can use an event to help you promote your new retail products or your new treatments. Sometimes, especially if you've been in business for a while, people get to thinking that they know all about you. They kind of pigeonhole you to a certain extent. They think, oh yeah, that's that certain type of business. You can introduce all the new treatments, all the new retail products, all the new services that you want, and they'll continue to think that they know what you do, even if they're completely wrong. And even if, an event is a fantastic way to re-educate people, to re-establish yourself in your area and get people to take notice of what you do now. In fact, this is the one area that I think events do a better job than anything else. And the reason I know this is I've actually had this recently with a client. Let me just take 2 seconds to tell you about this client. So this came up just a couple of weeks ago. I've got a big corporate client that I've been working with for the past 12 years, and for the past 12 years, they've provided high-end health programs. They're a fantastic retreat. So you go there for a minimum of 5 days, anything from 5 days up to 3 weeks. And, they do juice diets, raw food diets, colonic irrigation, all these kind of things. And, whilst you're there, it's a true detox health retreat type place. Now, people have got to know that, and people know that that's what they're about. Okay, but they've just opened up a brand new day spa, true kind of pampering day spa, which is a bit of a shift from what they've done before. And they've kept the same business name. They've kept the retreat, but they've opened up this day spa. So it's on the same site, slightly different part of the business, aimed to attract a different type of client, but they've kept the same business name. So what they've found is people are just not listening to the marketing that they're putting out there. So what we did was we started to hold a series of events, getting local people in who think they know what they're all about. We're not necessarily trying to get them to book treatments. We're just getting them in, inviting them in, showing them around, giving them a reason to come, putting on some drinks, putting on some nibbles. I think they had a band one of the evenings that they invited people to, just for a bit of fun, to get people from the local area just to come along. I think, in fact, that one they did. They sort of held a bit of a charity event as well. But what it meant was they were able to show people around, and they were very clever. They approached some certain influential groups. So there was a couple of private schools nearby, so they invited the parent-teacher association from there. There was a chamber of commerce, so they invited the business leaders. So they invited the people who have contacts, who were going to talk about it. And it's worked really, really well. Literally from a week after that event, they started getting so many more bookings for the day spa. So that's why I think events work really, really well in that situation. So next up, one of the very best reasons to hold an event, if you're not repositioning your brand, is when you're just opening out. You can announce the grand opening, the grand opening of your business as an event. That always gets people's interest, because people want to know. There's something on a subconscious level with humans where, we want to know first. We want to be the first to experience something, to try something. And plus, if you hold the event in your salon or clinic, if that's possible, then this is going to allow them to know where your salon is, what you look like, what you offer, all these kind of things. So it really can help. So the next reason to hold an event is for a specific type of your client base. This could be just for your VIP clients, for your most loyal clients, for your longest visiting clients, or even for those clients that haven't been in it for a while. Your lost clients. It could be a way to get them back. Just inviting your lost or lapsed clients back again. Say for a treatment, or just to experience what you do now, anything. It will work on some people, but put an event on specifically for them. Now that's something special. That's something that not every salon or spa would do. You'll stand out. And now you've got their attention, you're one step closer to getting their business back again. Hope that makes sense. Now, there's no two ways about it. Holding an event, even a small one, is a huge undertaking. It takes a lot of planning. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And the more that you can share this work, the better. Bearing this in mind, this allows you to partner with local businesses, possibly offering something that you don't, or an entirely different business altogether. Not only does it share the workload and the cost of the event, but it also doubles the outreach capability. So the point of an event is to get the word out there. So if you work with another business, that's twice as much effort of getting the word out there. If you can partner with 2 or 3 businesses, then that outreach gets even more. But it also fosters good relationships between your business and other local businesses in your town or in your city, which can provide then ongoing and future client opportunities even after the event. And don't think you can only partner with another business that's similar to yours. So don't stick to just like gyms and hair salons or the beauty salons, yoga studios, things like that. Think outside the box. So long as your customers align, so your customers and their customers align in some sort of way, this can actually work really, really well. Sorry, I just lost my place there. Where was I? So things like partnering with, a local restaurant, a bistro, a cafe, a co-working space. They're becoming really popular now. Somewhere where independent entrepreneurs and things like that all work, co-working space. A bar, a photography studio. Even in one case, one of my clients partnered with a legal firm who they found very much served the same type of clients as were coming to the spa, or certainly that they were trying to attract to the spa. These can all work really, really well. And what's also cool is if you partner with a bar or restaurant or something like that, if you've got quite a small salon, you might even be able to use their space for the event as well. So if you've got a small space and you can't get a lot of people to where you work, you might actually be able to partner with someone and sort of on the cheap borrow their space, which can work really, really well. Now, along similar lines, if you want to hold an event to promote your business, but also to do some good, which I know loads and loads of you out there really enjoy doing, then you could partner with a charity. Holding an event to help raise awareness or make money for a charity always is something worth considering. People do make a little bit more effort when they know it's for a good cause and it's going to benefit someone. So people have told me this before, that they sometimes feel that this can be a little bit underhand using a charity to help promote their business. But I say, why not? As long as there's a benefit for the charity, usually in the form of, donations and raising money, then the charity wins. And along the way, people get to learn more about your business. So you win. So it's kind of win-win. There's no downside for it, really. So I don't see it as underhand at all, as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, as long as obviously the charity is benefiting in some way. So that's by no means, like I said, an exhaustive list of why you might want to think about holding an event and some options as to why you might, want to do it. Now, I've been deliberately vague as to the exact type of event to hold. That's actually less important than the understanding, the why behind holding the event in the first place. Besides that, I want it to be creative. The more creative, the more inventive that you can be with your event, the better, the more you're going to stand out. So I don't want to kind of narrow your focus too much and have you thinking that there are only certain types of events that you can hold. But with that said, if you've never ever organised an event before, certainly never one for your business, then indeed any event that you have that you want to get people to come somewhere on a certain date at a certain time, it's going to take a lot of work. Very probably more than you think. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's put an event on and gone, oh yeah, it was much easier than I thought it was going to be. It took far less time. And this is even more the case if you want to enjoy your event yourself, because there's a huge tendency to put an event on. You do loads and loads of work in advance, and then you spend the whole event running around and just not enjoying it yourself, and that slightly ruins the whole thing, not only for you, but if people want to ask you questions at the event, then and you're running around all over the place and you're stressed, it's not a good feeling for everyone. So the more preparation, the better you can do a job of that in the first place, the more you're going to enjoy it, the more your guests are going to enjoy it, and the more you're going to get out of the event. So how do you hold an effective event? Well, there are many, many ways of doing this, but I think there are 5, maybe 6, because one of them is kind of 2 things. 5, maybe 6 things that you need to consider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through those steps here. I cover them in more detail in the checklist that I'm going to give you at the end of this presentation. But truth be told, there are these 5 or 6, and each one has a couple of elements to it. So to help you out, even more, don't forget to download the checklist. So let's kick this off right now, shall we? So first of all, you need to create your agenda. Now, not surprisingly with me, the first thing you need to do is you need to go and get really clear on why you are holding this event in the first place. Establish what are your goals, okay? What are the goals of the event, and what are you hoping to accomplish, and exactly how are you going to deliver this event? Visualize, literally kind of plan it out, see it happening all in your mind. Visualize the whole event first, plan it in such a way that makes the most sense to you. What I like to do, and I like computers and I like spreadsheets and I like all these things as much as anyone, but there's no substitute for a nice big piece of paper on this one. So on a big piece of paper, or a spreadsheet if you really prefer that, or in a notebook if that's you, or even a mood board, something like that, whatever works for you. The point is, before you book anything, before you invite anyone or put anything in place, really map out the event clearly for yourself. And don't forget to create a timeline of the activities that are going to happen. Remember that as soon as the event starts, it's going to be off schedule almost right away. That just happens. That's just events. So allow some wiggle room in your timings or your estimate. Be on the generous side whenever you kind of plan out the timings to make sure that you're not stressing out. But the most important thing here is to get really clear on the point of holding the event, if nothing else, okay? Step number 2 is to outline your budget. Once you've planned out the most incredible event and made sure that you can actually fit everything in that you want in the timetable for the number of people, next you need to figure out if you can actually afford everything you want to do. Now, just like any promotional activity, you're going to have to spend some money in order to put the event on. So for everything that you've planned, work out the cost. Okay, if it's just some food and some drinks, actually find out what that's going to cost. Don't just assume, okay, it's just some food and drinks, that'll be no problem at all. Are you going to need some paper plates for people to eat off? Do you need any additional staff to help make everything run smoothly? Can you really afford that, fire-eating trapeze artist that you thought would be really cool? Really think about these kind of things. It's very, very easy to get carried away with the idea of an event and lose track of the purpose. So remember that this is an event to promote your business. What's the likely outcome for you? Yeah. Make sure that your budget reflects what you stand to make from the event. That's important as well. Don't go spending, $3,000, £3,000 if the event is only ever going to raise £1,000 for you. Yes, there's a certain amount of raising awareness, all those kind of things, long-term gain, but the event itself you should at least aim for an event to be revenue neutral. Okay, so that means you spend a bit of money, you don't necessarily make any money, but you've got the benefit of say awareness and all that kind of thing. Ideally though, any event you put on should be making you some money. So a big tip that I always like to run my clients about is to ask your suppliers for freebies, the suppliers, your product houses, all those kind of things, to give away as take-home prizes. You can advertise these as part of the event itself. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps promote the brands, all those kind of things, but it's something that people can take away. It all helps to make your event stand out and make people want to be there and all those kind of things. If you don't trust yourself, have a chat with your accountant. If you've got a business mentor or a coach, get them to check your plans as well, just to make sure that, you're not kidding yourself on the cost and the timings and all of these different things, and plus how much you're aiming to make on the event. So promoting your business also benefits your supplier. If it leads to larger purchases of professional product or retail product for you, that also helps them out. So see what they can do to help you. Now, this bit is up to you, but I highly recommend selling tickets. If I could give you one really big tip for your events, sell tickets for the event, okay? Now, this might seem like a bit of a barrier to getting people to show up, but honestly, even if it's a really, really low amount, like £10 or $10, getting someone to part with some money is one of the best ways to actually guarantee people show up for your event. There's nothing worse than, putting an event on for free, telling people about it, getting loads of buzz, people going, oh yeah, that sounds great, that's wonderful, and then you put the event on and then like 2 or 3 people show up, okay? You want to make sure people are going to show up. So you're looking to get business out of this. That means clients, and that means people who are right for your business and happy to spend money. If they're not happy to spend money on an event, on a ticket that they're going to get way more, enjoyment and value from, then how likely are they really going to be to spend money with you as your clients? So, when it comes to, I do this. I kind of go off piece and I start, and then I can't find where I am in my notes. Okay. So you can always offer them, if you do charge for it, you can always offer them stuff like, your money back on any products you buy on the night, or I've even seen people offer, twice your money back if you buy anything or book anything on the night. That can work really, really well, because of course, if they're booking treatments, there's only the cost to you of putting the treatment on. Even products, to a certain extent, the cost of the product is not the retail price to you. So you could even offer, twice the value of the ticket for anything you purchase on the night. Things like that. All of these things can work. But make sure you get them, to put some sort of skin in the game, to put some sort of money on the table in order for them to come to your event. Now, number 3 is to plan your schedule. Or stick to your schedule, should I say. After finding a venue, if it's your salon or your clinic won't work, if you have to find somewhere else, one of the hardest part of organising an event is picking a date. It seems like a really easy thing, but you don't want it to clash with another local event. You might want to avoid holidays, or you might want to not avoid holidays depending on your client. You might want to hold it in the daytime, in the morning, in the evening, on a weekend. All of these things are worth thinking about. So check your calendar and other local events to make sure you don't pick a bad date. Also, planning is absolutely key to a successful event. There will be so many last-minute things that just come up, and the more you can actually sort out in advance, the better. So along with your ideas and your budget, map out the schedules of what needs to be done before the event happens, and remember to give yourselves plenty of time as well. Don't give yourself too much time, because then it just drags on and you kind of get bored. But, don't try and put on an event starting today and next week. Give yourself a little bit of time. Number 4 is to build your team. Now, I keep saying that an event is a lot of work to put on, and it is, but I don't want to put you off holding an event. They're absolutely great and they're worth it. They're also a lot of fun to organise, especially if you have help. Now, they're hugely rewarding, and if done right, they are obviously profitable too. But do what you can to lighten your own load. If you have a team already working with you, then brilliant, get them involved. If you don't have a team, what are friends for? Learn the strengths of your team. Put a little team together. It doesn't have to be huge, 2 or 3 people, but that just hugely helps whenever you're putting on an event, even if it's just someone to bounce ideas off, check what you're doing, all those kind of things. So learn the strengths of your team, and then you'll know who to assign certain jobs to. So, decorations, food, booking the entertainment, organising the entertainment, dealing with the entertainment, even host the event itself, if that's not something that you're, comfortable with doing. Honestly, it can be a lot of fun to put an event on if you're doing it with others. Just don't try and do it all yourself. So number 5 is marketing and promotion. So don't leave the promotion of the event until the last minute. After sorting the venue and the date and what's going to happen, this is absolutely the most important thing. You could put on the most amazing event ever, but if no one actually comes to it, then what's the point? So the good news, like I said, is at the start of this talk, I said that an event is, generally speaking, a one-off. You can totally hold the same event every year, or later in the year, or multiple times a year, but in the shorter term, it is a one-off. But given the time when you're putting it on, you're best simply to talk about it as a single event. Don't say, oh, this is going to be something that we're going to be doing every couple of months, Always talk about it as or view it as a one-off event. So marketing the event is actually easier than just marketing your salon, because it comes with that built-in exclusivity and scarcity. That's sort of get it while it's gone, one time only, that kind of thing. Now, also because your event is, to all intents and purposes, that one-off, then the normal rules of promotion don't apply. By this I mean, I normally advocate keeping your offers and promotions to just specific channels, so you know what promotion went out on which channel, which one's performing best, all those kind of things. With an event, just the more eyeballs that you can get on your event, get the event in front of people, the better, because you are promoting just that event. So plan out a design for your event that you can use in promoting it, whether that's online or in print or in your local area or all those kind of things. Now, the whole point of an event is to get as many people there as possible. Okay, that is the point of your event, generally speaking. Whatever type of event, whatever your goal is, but the more people who know about it, talk about it, tell others about it, that's the point of the event. Because even if they don't come to the event, they're talking about you, they're talking about your business, they're raising your awareness, okay? So you need to get the word out far and wide. Now, I'm a big fan of using some of these old school methods. Holding an event itself is a marketing tactic in its own right, but the more you can get the word out there, the better. And that is where the power of events and Facebook ads really comes in. And that is very much why Stephanie has asked me to put this bit on, so that we can team up and really put these two powerhouses together. So like I said earlier, there are some side benefits of events as well. Sorry, I should say that immediately following my bit of telling you about events, Stephanie is obviously going to take over and introduce you to the power of adding Facebook's advertising to this process. Anyway, side benefits. If your event is public, like I said, the most important thing is to get as many people there as possible. But if the point of your event is to be exclusive, even if it's just for a very few people, you still want to publicize it, because you still want people talking about it. You want people to know that this is something that happens. So if it's for your VIPs or for your most loyal clients, you still want to get the word out there. You still want to tell people that it's happening, because then people want to be those loyal clients. They want to be those VIPs. So then they'll work hard to actually become that. They'll ask you about it, find out more. I want to be one of these VIPs that you put on these events for. So again, it gets people interested in talking about it. So in those kind of instances, certainly put it out on your social media channels, but do something that people don't. Personally invite those VIPs to the event. Do something that, that people wouldn't expect. Handwrite them a letter. Go really old school on this. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, yeah, if it's a public event, the other great thing is you can actually talk about it on your social media channels. It gives you something to talk about. So no more are you kind of finding yourself scrabbling around for interesting and unique posts to put out. You can actually promote the event without promoting the event. You can actually take pictures of you kind of doing some of the organization. This morning I was out and about booking a band for the event that we've got coming up. You can subtly mention it without going, hey, come to my event, it's happening on this day at this time. You can just start putting that little spark in people's minds, so that they come and ask you, hey, what's this event you're talking about? I saw that you were booking a band, I saw that you were putting up balloons, I saw that you were doing this, that and the other. It gets them interested, so you're not having to kind of go out there and shake people and get them to come in. So not only can you use social media to promote your event, but your event actually gives you things to keep posting about on your social media. So there you go, win-win all over again. 2 for the price of 1, as they say. Okay, so I've told you why you can hold an event. So what can you actually hold events for? What's really good things that I've seen work well? Well, there's loads of ideas, and again, excuse me, live TV. So again, there's loads of things that work really well. So obviously, some of the things that I've seen lots of salons and spas do, a spa or salon anniversary is always a good one. I've mentioned this already, like a VIP client appreciation party, something that's exclusively for them, a new salon opening, new therapist, new stylist, a sort of, welcome to our new team member event, a new branch opening, maybe you've expanded, maybe you've been open a while, but you're having like a ribbon cutting day and you're having a celebrity along or something like that. You can promote those kind of events. Great one is holiday parties, Christmas parties, Valentine's Day, National Manicure Day, all these different kind of things. Social awareness events is a great one. Things like, National Women's Health Month, National Best Friend Day. Trust me, it's a thing. Google it. National Spa Week, Mental Health Awareness Week, if that's something that you do. You know, those kind of things that relate in some way to your business are a really fantastic thing to celebrate as well. You know, there's other ideas as well. What else have we got? There's things that you can actually organise as part of your offering. So it could be an event that you hold, but you actually are selling it to your clients. So by this, I mean things like bachelorette or hen parties, or even stag parties nowadays, baby showers, getting away with friends weekends. You know, there's friends are spreading out all over the country, all over the world now. So occasionally they get together. I know I do it with my old university friends and things like that. My wife does it with her friends too. You probably do it. Occasionally meet up with friends that have kind of moved away and you kind of have a bit of a mini reunion. You can have a friends weekend, something like that. So those reunions, there you go. So then you've got kind of collaboration and the sponsored parties that I mentioned earlier. You can collaborate with a charity or a partner or a local business where the event actually takes place either at your salon or at another venue or at your partner's venue. And you can organise, you know, to share it with the organisation so the whole job isn't falling to you. So if you haven't got a team, you can actually do it with someone else. You know, this type of event works really, really well as a bigger event. So if you're going to get more people involved, more businesses involved, then it works great as a huge event. If you want to really put something on, I'd always say start with small ones. Get your feet wet doing the small events first. But if you can put on a big event, obviously that reaches more people, gets more people to it, gets more people talking about it. So, you know, there's benefits to do there. It's more work for sure, but because it's shared out, it usually results in bigger results as well. Now, often if your supplier or your product house launches a new product or a new treatment or new protocol or something like that, you can offer your salon or your spa to host a launch party in your area. Sometimes I've seen this happen, you know, product houses want actual salons to help promote this, so they'll pick sort of 6 regions around the country to kind of launch this new treatment at. So if you kind of volunteer your spa for that, that can be really, really great, because a lot of the times your supplier will actually do all of the organisation and pay for it. You're just kind of providing the venue and the treatment rooms and those kind of things. So that's actually fun. If you can get on one of those, you can get all the work done for you, get all the benefits of having the event at your salon, and actually very, very little of the work and the cost. So if you can do that, that's fantastic. You know, you can hold an event or a competition. You know, you can actually have an event that you have to win things to get invited to. That's another way of getting people to talk about it even more. And then you've got, you know, the less party focused, more kind of educational events. You know, if you're looking to establish yourself in your area as the expert, or you're bringing a new treatment to your area, then this can work really, really well. Put on kind of educational nights to tell people about it, do mini treatments if you can, you know, show people what happens, show people the benefits, those kind of things. You can create simple tutorials or simple educational classes like, you know, how to style your hair for work in minutes, how to do easy morning makeup, you know, the quickest, most effective basic skincare routine for those who travel 24 days out of the month. You know, showing what you know and what you do really, really well, you know, creates that expert effect, and it works wonders not only for yourself, not only for your reputation, but for your business as well. If you're the expert in your area, people are going to come to you with their problems, and that is absolute gold, because if people are coming to you with their problems and already know that you've got the solution, then you're talking about solid clients for life there. Not only clients that you can, you know, market your treatments to, but if you've got products that you sell that will help them as well, then they're just going to put themselves in your hands. And, you know, those are the type of clients that you really, really want. But like I said, to make all this work, you've got to get the word out. So I hope I've helped you understand in the past 30 minutes the power of events and how they can dramatically help your business grow. But I only really touched upon, you know, the how to put on an event section in the marketing bit. You know, that's a huge part of an event, and I deliberately only touched on that, just mentioned it, because, you know, the thing is for people to get excited about it, they've got to know about it, they've got to talk about it, and that's where using events along with the power of Facebook and the power of Facebook ads can really, really work magic. And that's exactly what Stephanie is now going to take over and tell you all about. So that's kind of it from me. If you do have any questions for me about anything I've said here, then you can track me down on social media pretty much everywhere using @Salon Business Secrets. There's a lot of S's in there in the middle, but @Salon Business Secrets. You can usually find me there all over Facebook and Instagram and all sorts. Obviously, you can find me at the Beauty Business Podcast as well, or actually just search for Adam Chatterley. It's a pretty unusual name. So if you search for Adam Chatterley in Google or anywhere, you'll pretty much track me down that way. So please do ask me any questions you've got about events. Now, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your time. I went a little bit over the time that I meant to earlier on. I was trying to get it into just half an hour, so I've gone a bit more, but I hope I've given you loads of information, loads of ideas there. And I mentioned a free gift as well. So I'm sure Stephanie is going to put some links in here for you to just download it. But if you want it right now, all you need to do is go to salonbusinesssecrets.com/event-checklist. There's no email to be given or anything like that. Literally just download it straight away. Totally free, my little gift to you. So I hope you enjoy that.